Why didn't you see that coming? He's over the hill.
I am genuinely surprised. Did not expect that at all.
Yeah, so now Rel being considered by Pleta, of course, one of his better champions. As was undefeated coming into the LCK on this champion in Challenger. Was 9-0, I believe. But it is going to be a tougher lane, given the fact that it is into a Nico that will have a fair bit of control. I kind of like this, though. You're sort of like ham-fisting priority into the bottom side of the map on the D+ side, giving the Kai'Sa a little bit of a better time in lane. And it does mean now it's likely, you know, 2.5 winning lanes. You know, I don't necessarily feel like Ahri is going to beat Aurora or anything like that. Feels like a skill matchup, though, in the mid lane. I think the only difference, really, from D+ having a standard composition and not is this Nico on the bottom side. It is very, very strange. DRX with a fair bit of power themselves. Let's dive in, see how it goes. So, that might have something to do with it. Still neither here nor there. And Yukal, actually, there's the electrocute. And this is what he did throughout the LCK Cup.
Vlada and Teddy can hold it there, because Sponge has an angle here. They're very far up.
Yep,
they get the crash.
Full wrap around.
Oh, big. That root on Plata might be the difference maker here. Wave is bouncing back into them, or it should at least, so I think they know. They have a suspicion.
Yep. And Sponge going to make his way down. The Shape Splitter comes in, and the flashes are going to be exchanged here on the bottom. If it was the Org that, like, through time, you know, back to Longzhu as well, then they'd be Mara Source.
Ooh.
That's what they'd be.
That's good. Yeah, an old-timer.
Yep.
Maybe not as popular now as it was. I feel like it was a real hype a couple of years ago.
It's got to be still teams popular anyway. So there might be a little bit of something. It is just one grub going on over to DK. As aiming, supercharges, runs away, and is now able to offer some damage back. Aiming not quite finding the Q or the W, so he's going to have to back away. Sponge taking some damage, though, as 2 grubs actually going over to DK. And Smite's still up for Sponge, so he will be able to get this last one.
Want me to go first?
Yeah, okay, please. Because I didn't want to be the one to call T1 ketchup, okay?
So I'd argue T1 is mayo, and Gen G is ketchup. And I think ketchup is close, but not quite there.
Well, Rich is going to get caught out here. She was already taking a fair bit of damage, but now Lucid getting his claws into the Rumble. Let's see whether he can take someone with him. As even a grass proc going down, as ShowMaker goes in to avoid this mayonnaise ketchup conversation for as long as I possibly can. Oh! The flash charm from ShowMaker is going to help as, oh dear! That's not the part of the wall that Yukal wanted to head towards, as the Impale was good. Lucid able to pick him off, as there goes the Aurora. You know, it's like there's a lot of spicy flavor with the cloves and stuff like that. It's Sponge gonna have to go untargetable. Doesn't get crashed into by Lucid here. Still not exactly a fight that DRX are looking to win at this point with the man advantage DK have. Never mind, the Magnet Storm flies through, and Lucid, he gets a little bit of an Impale, but then he just goes down. Sponge has to flash, but will stay alive. Now the top laners are making their way in. The Jace gets there first as Pleta gets booped away immediately. She desperately trying to find an angle to take down the doggo, but it's not going to work as he has to walk the red carpet to get out. And Rich with a beautifully placed equalizer should be enough to take him down. That flash was optimistic at best. And DRX,
I think it's fresh, right?
My mom actually makes tomato relish, and I get her to send it to me whenever I run out.
This is what, okay, now I get why you go for relish. No, I'm
and so if there were any, you know, people that didn't like, and it's, you know, I say tomato, that's because I'm from Australia. I'm sorry, everyone. It's correct where I come from. Yeah, I know.
I'm working with an Australian?
I know.
What are the odds?
But like, as they say, potato, potato. You know, that's what they say, potato. Is that how they say that one? It's swapped.
I think
pretty
it's article.
Ah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm figuring it out.
That's fine.
Anyway, very much enjoy tomato relish, so that's why, you know, our LCK champs do get the best.
In the sauce ranking?
Yeah, in the sauce ranking, as far as my my assessment is concerned. Lucid was looking for an angle onto Yukal here, and does not quite get it.
Sponge is going to take this, it looks like.
Yeah, Lucid nowhere in the area, so not going to have to deal with any sort of smite battle. So the Rift Herald will just be claimed. Pleta just trying to get rid of Lucid as best he can.
Still no stack, by the way.
Rumble, by the way. That's a choice.
Never see that.
You don't. It's Super Galaxy or just barely anything at all. That you sometimes see Rumble in the jungle, or at least Peanut did it when he was playing it as Rumble in the jungle, which was absolutely fantastic. Love to see that. Really committing to the bit.
I do think
that's going to give you exactly the experience to ready you for Happy Gilmore 2. As Pleta is behind enemy lines, ladies and gentlemen, and Beryl is going to hold him in place, and so is Lucid. He'll take a fair bit of damage as the Impale is going to go wide. That's a bit unfortunate here. Pleta is going to be able to escape, though, as DRX still jostling for position around a non-existent dragon.
A Sponge who is doing well, that's a really good sign for
even
DRX.
forever. Do both teams suffer? As all right, Beryl going to get engaged on here. Remember, he's just an eco, and he's just dead.
All the hallmarks of a great DRX game, we're seeing Sponge not behind, UCal popping up, and Teddy, he has actual teammates, and Rich, he's just trucking along. He doesn't need to be the main character.
You can do the Cope Tech thing.
Yeah.
Well, Chiu is going to do the walk off the ultimate thing. That might work out here as he does boot back Sponge, but back in he goes. Chiu's going to flash. This time, he gets healed up as Beryl comes in. As the daggers are coming on through as Lucid's driving on forward. Flash over from Rich. That was pretty sexy as here's a Magnet Storm. ShowMaker trying to get out of here, and he should be able to do so with the Spirit Rush, but does have to invest it. Flash forward from UCal was optimistic at best. Sometimes you just want to keep that button on cooldown, Chronicler. That's how it works, as Rich is the one that takes the Gromp for some reason. Oh god, this series is this series. Okay, there's the Impale, and down goes the Doggo. You cannot untargetable that one, as aiming.
But a little bit slow down since as he's looking for more.
Yeah, picks up a rock. Let's see whether Teddy's going to be okay here, as Arcane Shift already on cooldown. The Pop Blossom, the full commit, and down goes the bottom lane. Gorgeously played here by DK. Oh, is that just Otacon as well?
Yeah, just a moment of weakness from DRX, leading to some imminent disaster. The bot side play, I think that one was salvageable. This one, though, is a big deal. Teddy feels very safe because he's Ezreal with both Sums and E. So I feel like that is somewhat warranted, but it's the setup there that comes through. Beryl pretending to be Shiu. It does feel like DK after that play towards topside said, "Okay, guys, we gotta pull back."
Yeah. That's how deep into the I want to talk about something else. Pop Blossom under 3 is gorgeous here. Is right out of nowhere. They save us from the monotony. Beryl. Oh, he did not want to hear about the fact that his team was a monotream. All he wanted was to knock them all up into the sky and take a dragon.
And DRX seemingly caught more off guard than Atlas. How much freedom do you have? How much control you have of the map? And DRX often isn't able to quite keep up there. They will get this turret finally.
Nice
and
job.
do note, that was a big team fight win for DK. Got the dragon. It solidified the lead. But that's not enough just yet to make us go back to some of the aforementioned conversations, even for us. Oh, Sponge.
Yeah. Oh, actually just barely. Caught on the edge, but still able to dive his way out.
That timing by Lucid there. That power too.
All right, Chiu is going to dance on top of the equalizer, and Rich burning down, but isn't going to fall. That he loves.
He has big on binoculars as well.
Oh yeah.
Chiu, he doesn't have flash.
Yeah, he's walking down that red carpet once again, and there is a Doggo behind him. And so that is going to be a dead Jace. Great pick here. Going to keep him relatively safe. All right, here's the Magnet Storm. Doesn't find Beryl. Has now aiming, able to free hit towards his backline. Pleded down already. The Impale connecting onto one as there's the Pop Blossom onto 2. UCal trying to get out, aiming with the Killer Instinct and able to rain down a Cathianly to take down the Aurora. Sponge still looking for more as Teddy feels like he has an angle, and Sponge goes in, goes out again and smacked into the wall, but there's the equalizer, and we know that is so deadly here from Rich as Shiu dives forward. I don't know about it. 1 versus 3 here as Beryl and aiming are coming down. Teddy looking for some options, doesn't quite get anything, and they will back away. Teleport in from ShowMaker, though, should mean that DK can utilize this to take down the dragon, especially if Rich doesn't have any health.
Rich does have TP, though. Should be able to make his way back. ShowMaker was out on the map. Plus the fact that he's was just about to buy a death cap means that this is going to be soul point for DRX.
All right. DRX being able to
TP.
Closed in on here is now Sponge looking for an angle. He is not an easy one to lock down. So they are going to have to get off the Baron for the moment.
That is what DK wanted. I don't think this was ever an earnest start.
Oh, Charm just barely going wide as now 5v5 is ensuing. The
DRX.
equalizer has to be respected so much. Standing in these corridors is terrifying for DK.
Yeah, DRX. Oh, Shiu.
Oh no. That's the acceleration gate used aggressively as well as the Harpoon will connect. And my God, there was no commitment to anything there.
And
and
timing is still a little bit off, but it is close as Barrel.
Oh dear, True Shot Barrage not going to connect onto the right one as now Yukao looking to take down the Nico, and Barrel is able to actually get out of the way, baits them all into committing towards him so they get an outer turret in mid.
By the way, as DK, they just started up again.
Yep, and Sponge is over the wall, so it's a 50-50 if they do decide to go for something.
They're going to turn, right? We're not just going to flip this?
Well, Barrel almost has flash. It is up in half a second.
They don't want to. Okay, good call. Lucid has the shield to tank it as, oh, ShowMaker.
Yeah, there's the Pop Blossom, and it does nothing. Tangle Barb's coming on through here, and also the Equalizer not getting anything done. ShowMaker continuing to get them out of here, and Barrel is safe for the moment. So some big cooldowns now just kind of thrown into the nether.
Oh, flash for flash traded there, but Barrel's flash a lot more valuable. Sponge, obviously not having it means he's a little bit more susceptible, but with his dash as well.
Yeah, so they get position on Baron.
Yeah.
And the Smite is also roaming up, as we can see. So the Dragon goes over. There's Chemtech Soul.
Oh, DK.
That's not what you want to see.
Double
As best
TP.
they can. Shiu off to the side as in goes Yukao. Pleta going to be taken out before he can really do too much, but Barrel also throws away another ulti. The jungler is dead on DK's side, and Sponge is still here. The Baron is so extraordinarily low, and it goes over to DRX. DK are throwing it all away as they lose the Soul. They lose the Baron. They haven't lost too many members, but this is still a disaster. Make the right decisions. Let's see whether this ShowMaker flank is going to work. There was the Charm and the Orbit Deception go wide. Pleta is likely to die, but does get the Magnet Storm off. Never mind, it was just a crash down still. Barrel is going to die too, and there goes Lucid. Sponge diving in. It's a huge shield here from aiming, but Sponge bleeds him to death. Shiu and ShowMaker will still have some damage. They take down Yukao, and Sponge is almost dead, but will just barely survive. 3-1.
A minute!
And DRX should just be able to close this one out, right? Trying to be eaten here by Sponge as ShowMaker is still, I mean, he was still healthy before. Now he is no longer.
This is going to be pretty tight. Barrel's up soon, but I don't think that alone is enough. I think they got it, Atlas!
Yeah, these Nexus turrets are falling like paper as Teddy looking for his options as Rich is here. And yeah, no one can get anywhere near the walking barbecue, and here they are going to be able to do it. Down goes the Nexus, and DRX.
아 근데 진짜 이거 끝나거든. 진짜 여유롭게만 해, 여유롭게. 아리. 야, 나 미리 푸르메 먹어봐. 푸르메. 여유롭게. 아리 궁 있는 거야, 알았지? 다 쳐야 돼, 다. 하나랑 아리 궁. 다 쳐야 돼. 니코 풀 나오고. 니코 노궁. 다 쳐볼래, 일단? 아래 거. 아리 궁 있고, 니코 궁 있고. 아, 니코 궁 안 될 것 같아. 돌아. 니코 궁 돌아. 다 치면 끝나. 안 돈다. 안 돌아. 프라이팅 노노맨. 오케이, 확인.
I'd agree. I think aiming also having a very forgettable game, as we can see here. These damage numbers, I actually thought Rich would be a little bit higher than the numbers represented here, but you can see Teddy in the later stages of the game just really ripping holes in D+.
Time. It's you are playing what is effectively a melee comp, and I think the Braum unfortunately is inevitable. And I really wish that Rakan was a Braum ban, unless they're just gonna ignore that. And
Pleta's gonna play.
Because I do think Braum Jhin doesn't feel great, right? That is not a really strong 2v2, not something you're excited about. So instead, I wouldn't hate the Bard. There's a lot of stationary targets on a DK, but Pleta, he's playing for Prio here.
The Pleta Elise.
Yeah.
All right, well, I mean, we've seen this DRX comp being played by a whole lot of other teams here in the LCK. It's tried and true, gets things done, gets it done fast. But I feel like DRX are living in the future. This is a team that has picked a lot of the champions that are on the up and up. I feel like Jin's stock is rising. This time they've got damage coming out everywhere. We'll see whether that is going to be a difference maker. Let's dive into it. One's even running. That was actually very, very funny. There was a whole lot of champions just sort of gliding out. of the fountain. Very, very cool stuff. And now, this Jin Elise. Sounds like a lot of pick potential there towards the bottom side. Doesn't feel like a whole lot of damage, but I don't think you're too worried. I mean, MF does do a fair bit of damage in the early game, but the Leona should not be able to find priority against double ranged. So I think DRX are just going to be pretty happy with how things have been.
Watch Beryl flash on top of someone.
No, yeah, he just has the Zenith Blade, so it's fine. Ooh, Cocoon narrowly avoided there by aiming.
That does not find the time to base, which means that they are in some serious trouble in trying to contest here, and they're still trying, which I think maybe Teddy should have just gone for the base, because now you're going to be kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Is Beryl.
That goes in, does have Aftershock, so he's going to be okay. To get level 2, of course, does feel very good if you are a Leona to not just have Zenith Blade. Something to do after you go in feels nice.
The minioning has not been amazing, but aiming has done a lot of great trades when it comes to health. He's quite strong. Obviously, one of the big reasons why you picked him in the first place is they did spot this on the ward earlier, so this should not be anything too risky. Like, again, DK, there are a ton of wards. They know. Also, Sponge doesn't get to go anywhere else.
Ooh, nicely played there by Shiu. Also slices through the cannon as aiming and Beryl able to just deny Sponge's entry.
Definitely they will be towards the bot side. Scuttle is the trap.
Okay.
Do they use their skills? Yeah, there's Eclipse. They don't think they're here.
Oh, God.
They're going to walk close.
Yeah, aiming. Oh, I'm very frightened. And they're both just backing in the middle of the lane. We haven't seen, is the window shopping going to occur? As there's the Cocoon. They wait for Beryl to be gone. The instant cleanse there. He was not shopping. Teddy's just given up on it. He's like,
right,
oh, and that happened. Yeah.
I think that was the main. He was about 40%.
But can't you just reset after that?
Wave. You know? And maybe they just don't swap. Guys, we need some. Oh, the flash.
Yeah, they get the flash out of ShowMaker. That's
maybe
certainly good
ShowMaker
news.
old spot. Because you can see as well, aiming is like, what do I go? I think ShowMaker goes. She was here, level 6, big crocodile, fighting for the grubs.
Yeah, they are well and truly investing hard into this one. Oh, he steals it! Oh, that was very cute.
Is also a definition. Is all plata.
Yeah, nice Cocoon. What goes up must come down. Seismic Shove needs to be flashed there, but he flashes towards Yucal. Very nicely done. Shiu and Teddy fighting one another as the gravity field is fantastic. And another deadly flourish. Now the curtains are being called, and down goes the Talia. Lucid, that permafrost is well and truly stacked up as she was just trying to be a wall as he flashes in and manages to cut down Little Miss Piggy. In goes Beryl as well as Teddy's overstepped. He's forced to flash away, and this crocodile is so scary, but the public execution to try and lock him down. Shiu gets another Q, but it's not quite enough. Finally, Pleta falls as Lucid gets a few autos off, flashes over.
He's running.
Find the knock-up. Let's see whether he can actually get out. He gets the movement speed. And he's going to be all right as Beryl,
ShowMaker has
also with the assistance of the Wind Becomes Lightning, might be able to make it out. Does he have a Q, though? That's the question. Yep, in goes ShowMaker, and the Ambessa should also be... Never mind, it's Ambessa. When I said Ambessa, I knew she probably wasn't going to die. Great knock-up, though, as Lucid will finally fall. Yucal makes his way in. The longest team fight at 7.5 minutes we have ever seen. I would say clean, calculated, crazy.
So we go all the way back to Teddy. This is a big deal. I think he knows he might get dove, so he's just setting up so he has Fury and tries to go for maximum wave clear just so he can catch his waves.
Well, he will be able to do so, slice and dicing. And even the curtain call going to connect all of the bullets, and Shiu is going to give him the good old thumbs up. Well,
but I still got caught off guard by...
No, but you know it.
I do know it.
Yeah, you know it's going to happen. You just
don't know when.
Prefer to be just
prefer to be ignorant of it.
Yeah,
just say it.
Preferring to be ignorant. Yeah, it just sounded bad, you know.
No, it's you know when it comes to barrel teams how that feels. So I'm not too bothered. Oh, ShowMaker.
Yep. He's going to flash one of the buttons. Does throw the Piggy through the rocks. Is now Pleta in a little bit of trouble. Yucal as well. One more turret shot, and that would have been him going down. But they do just manage to walk their way out. Shiu and Rich fighting one another, as it is going to be a Cloud Soul this game. There's your little bit of good news, Chronicler.
It's just a second too late there from Barrow. If he arrives a little bit earlier, they can turn that play. There might be one.
I'm just going to say, well, I guess I will take this grub. And she's going to grab some more plates. Rich may have overstepped here. Wind becomes lightning. In goes Lucid. And Rich having to flash. They will also lose first turret. As one more Drake or Rift Herald. And DK can grab themselves some upgraded shoes. That'll be a difference from the last game. Certainly important stuff as Fletter is going to face check the Crocodile. There is the public execution.
That's the strongest member, a ShowMaker.
Oh, no. In goes Barrel, but he's going to be a little bit too late as ShowMaker is bathing in the Chaos Storm. And that is not what you want for a healthy future. Player of the match, but who am I kidding? This is going to be a 3-gamer. There is somehow DK are not going to impress us, but they're going to like to huff whatever you've got, Chronicler. Is that
I'm trying to see the line,
type thing? I don't know. As all right, Rift Herald, that will be feats of strength if DK can lock this one down, as now Barrel could be in trouble. Fletter gonna go up into the sky as the curtain has been called. Aiming able to tank that one for his support, and there goes the feats of strength. Over to DK. Wait, they just give it, they don't even go for the extra fight? This is not my DK. What the heck's going on here?
Hey, they might. Dragon is up.
All right.
Well, actually, no, I think they're just going to sack this, let it go, and instead go all in.
It's Soul Point. As Yukao, they spot him waiting in that brush. Fletter over here as well, wanting to throw a cocoon at anyone is okay. Now, DK, they're committing to it. We have to. This is the way. Hex Splash in. There's the bullet time as well. Sponge not going to be spiting this one. Never mind. He gets in with the Arctic Assault and down goes the Ambessa. I don't know whether it was necessarily worth it, but it was a very huge fight. And ShowMaker taxis in on the wall. He'll get the flash out from the Victor as well. Very, very important. And you mentioned the fact that the Crocodile was big. One thing we didn't mention was the gigantic lead that our Gold King had. And Fletter, that is not what Dan Orcs Harrison wanted to see. Oh no. Yukao now no flash, remember, and Beryl is going in. Another seismic shove, another death, and sometime getting to work on this outer turret towards the top side. Chu does have his Dominus. See whether he is able to stay alive, as there it is. Glacial Prison comes down, and they're not wanting to tank this turret. So a bit of an over-investment here on the bottom side for DRX. Can DK actually capitalize on the cross-map? Cross-map has not been their strongest suit, but Elise has not been Pletter's strongest suit either, as aiming comes on in. That's a love tap. And I guess if at first you don't succeed, let's just go again. This time with a teleport towards the bottom side as well. So it's 1-for-1, as both turrets are going to be falling.
Crucially, which is why even when Sponge hit that ult, it wasn't enough, but then obviously they could just go for the redive without too much of an issue, even without Yukao there.
Aiming, you cheeky devil! The curtains need to be respected, as ShowMaker is not going to respect them. Teddy having to get that angle. She on a flank of his own. Captive audience off to the side as Make It Rain just to hold them in position. And Lucid just dashes in and destroys Fletter! No repellent from that one, and now it's Shiu's turn. Great interruption there, but they get on top of Sponge still. Shiu is just dead. Oh, the Arctic Assault just too powerful there as the Eclipse trying to tank up the curtain call. And DK, it's a 1-for-1, but the Elise was doing almost less than 0. And so not having the Crocodile going to be important. He does have teleport. Sponge cannot throw his life away, but that is exactly what he's doing. And aiming finds the double up to get the last hit of damage.
Shiu not having the best day. Unfortunately, as he just goes in and dies unceremoniously.
And Jin is a utility champion. As all right, Lucid going forward. There's another wall as Teddy running as best he can, but the Spider cannot do that, even though she has so many legs. Fletter having a rough time. And now Ruinous Archon going to get started here by the team with 3 dragons. Having a look here. Teddy versus aiming. I mean,
Barrel?
It's a lot of damage that Teddy's done. And in they go, actually. Rich looking for an angle. Barrel is alive. Going to get missed by the ult, but does get hit by the curtains. The Archon is going to have to be given. Sponge going to take a little while to get on over here. There are no ultimates left on the side of DRX, and that might be why DK are happy to go for this one. Sponge almost in smite range as he can just Arctic Assault over. This is so dangerous. Knockup does come on through, but look at this health bar. It is secured, and now they get a gorgeous bullet time. The shove just to throw Pletter in there, and it's a quadra already from aiming. The seismic shove brings it back, and ShowMaker says, not today, aiming. We are not playing.
I do think Teddy probably would have ran it off and not died.
Good guy, Teddy. Well, Sponge and Yukal now in an awkward position in this one. Shiu now just chasing them down. A scary Crocodile, but he's going to get CC'd. Still, Lucid now diving forward, Rich in the back line. ShowMaker down to 50%, but the shove is gorgeous once again. And if at first you don't succeed aiming, try again, as it's another quadra, and it's stolen again, this time by Lucid. But you can see aiming not quite able to get there. Look at that! Oh man, if they could turn on friendly fire, you know aiming would. He definitely
Look at Lucid's face!
1,500 Red Bull Baron power play. And Lucid just gonna solo this Cloud Soul with Ruinous Otacon buff. Let's have a look at it one more time.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Good. Aiming just doesn't care at all.
Wait, next! We need to know!
All right.
이거 우리 라인 없어도 못 할 것 같은데. 사용 가자, 사용. 진짜 오늘 사용 가자. 나 믿음일게.
With you, I'm not.
Neither do I, but that's sometimes where the most courage comes from, as they all get knocked out of the solar flare, but still these wallets are so heavy. It is absurd. That is aiming getting one kill this time around, but there's already a double for ShowMaker, and Shiu just chasing Teddy down. It's in fact a solo kill. Teddy just wasn't actually able to get in there whatsoever, and now this game is over. 24-9 is the kill score, a gigantic lead, and DK, I think, showing us a little bit more what their power level is supposed to be like here in the LCK.
레드 왜 저기 있냐? 그러니까. 미안해요. 아이. 데스로젠 저거. 아야. 근데 1레벨 안 끝났다. 나이스.
Well by them. It's again.
I hate that he did so well on Misfortune, because I just don't like.
No, he's been really consistent. He's actually been, I think, our best MF consistently. It's like, for me, the 30 is where you actually reach the point with a comp that outskills like this, where you're good, where you're like, okay, Best has 3 items, Victor has 3 items, we got this in the bag. I'll pull it up. Because even though Shio has been playing that well today, still scary to play that 1v1 is what is aiming going to lock in here. Is it actually, they've been hinting towards the Smolder. It would be a very solid late game insurance.
It's fearless, so they can't play Taliyah Pantheon. Bottom lane.
Yeah, true. Just Zeri. It's just Zeri.
Yep, there it is. So pretty.
So it is
dangerous late game composition from D+, but let's see where all these champions are going.
I'm gonna have to see. My guess is that it would be the Pantheon jungle.
Yeah.
And not the support variety, because I think trying to play Pantheon jungle into Braum is actually not.
Yeah,
like
support Pantheon. Yeah,
that's kind of miserable. I think Poppy is fine. You know, you still have some playmaking potential, whereas I think with Pantheon you actually are not going to get a whole lot done. Spo TV, I think it's Jack Nicholson.
Oh, it'd have to be, right? Yes. All right, let's dive into it. Definitely would be the Tommy Lee Jones version, because that's like, you know, that was Tim Burton, you know, like that sort of vibe. And I feel like that's super Spo TV. That's the way.
Shiu and Rich, neither of them are breaking.
Oh, Dagon actually
packed.
Mate, he would have listened.
They didn't have to cook him like that. He's trying. Give the man a break.
You work smart, not hard. That's how I go.
I know.
As Sponge looking for aiming and barrel here. Let's see whether barrel can find an angle. He just pushes the tree away. Is aiming going to be taken out? Teddy burning. Pletter. That's a very well charged turret, but he is still able to get himself out. And Beryl, even though he's lollipoppy, they are at least going to be able to get some of the experience here, as Rich just being frustrating. Does have his level 6 available, but that is going to be 3 grubs going over to DK, and Sponge we're going to trade that one for this Dragon. ShowMaker sidestepping Yukel.
So high in the ban priority list, particularly with the Brom and Lethal Tempo. It's always going to be an uphill battle. So DK knew this. I think that...
Aiming, certainly having some great games. The last game, Misfortune, was absolutely fantastic as she smacking Rich around a little bit. Oh, you can see Rich was a little bit worried, but no idea.
No idea.
I don't
even think
really
the draft might not matter with how this series has played out so far. Atlas, we both know this is just build up to the inevitable shenanigans.
Okay, ShowMaker down here. Just looking for an angle as the ulti comes through, and there's the flash. Yukel, nowhere to go. And it should be the answering kill here. ShowMaker picks it up. Nice gank from Lucid as well. Good position.
Oh, but fight on our hands?
Maybe.
She has teleports. Rich does not, but Rich basing. Swifties in hand, ultimate at the ready.
Yep, ShowMaker has flash ult both available.
I'd let this go. Aiming doesn't have a first item yet. And yeah, actually, this is really good timing for DRX.
When I grew up, we also said football, but that meant running around and bouncing the thing and then kicking it if you felt like it.
That's the sport.
Yeah, and having
Lucid.
Lucid goes in. I don't know about that one, as the knockups are pretty huge. Still, Aiming trying to live up in this chaos and make something happen, and it just doesn't work. The flash gonna have to be used to get out of the way of Yukel as the Emperor's Divide pushes Pletter under the turret. Rich alongside him, but he's pretty tanky. Now Aiming is alone and getting closed in on by everyone. Snapped up by the Yone as in goes Shiu to grab the kill onto Rich, but the Zombie Scion is going to lock down the Jax. He finally gets the counter-strike as Yukel outplays him. Still, it's going to be ShowMaker able to lock it.
I don't know if the team does. Well, it's not over yet, I guess. Lucid has ult! He's gonna ult in!
Oh God, is Beryl... Well, it's a 3 versus 3, but the puppy has baited them all in. Yukel's able to get one of them with the help of Teddy, but now Lucid gets himself the stun. ShowMaker able to lock down both of them. He didn't know, he couldn't decide, and instead they're gonna kill both. Thanks, Beryl.
Well, now I know who won.
Yep. I still don't know anything about football, but I know that was better League of Legends out of DK.
Matters a lot. If DRX had the soul point, I think the last fight didn't matter at all. It's only 1.5 goals for DK. It's not that big a deal. So this next one is a big one, but Teddy doesn't have flash, Yukel doesn't have flash, and ShowMaker does have his. Big opportunity for playmaking here for the Azir.
Well, Lucid going in once again, and ShowMaker, spotted. The train is going to go by, and ShowMaker gets himself out. Some funny business here as
Beryl took Subway.
Yeah, he did.
Possible angles of attack here for DK.
Yep, Aiming has that first item. As now Teddy's in trouble. Aiming finds the ulti. As now I don't think the door is quite going to be enough. Empress Divide, and it just squashes the Varus. Still, it's a huge stun, but it's not enough. Here on the side of DRX, and Aiming is able to play in the front line. Yukel pushed around, and DK, they can take an outer turret, they can take a dragon, they can take whatever they want.
How can they use it as a ShowMaker? He does have a turret, but that's a lot of people. Double TP.
Yep, Beryl's coming down. There is a grand starfall, and now Beryl finds himself in an awkward spot. Never mind. He turns it into a triple knockup. A huge engage as Aiming comes over the wall. There is a kill onto the Azir for DRX. They get a couple, but now I think it's certification time for Aiming on this Zeri. As DK, they go 3 for 2.
He's only sitting on an item and a half. There's no jungler here. They do know this is going on.
Owie.
They don't have that much damage, but I think they're still fighting. TP comes in. I want to. Oh no.
Oh, hang on.
No,
hang
not the
on.
counter
Wait. But look at all of these hex gates that have been taken. As now ShowMaker booking it towards Yukel. He's just in position, so he can just wall him, and there it goes. Now it's a 2v2, and there is no damage here, represented by DRX.
Yeah.
That felt sadder than it did in my head.
Well, no, I think my set, did.
Yeah. Lucid gonna be able to stun up Pletter here, is just trying to stand beside Teddy. Okay, they do find the Nature's Grasp, but in goes ShowMaker. I don't know about it. As Sponge is trying to get them out of there. The heroic charge is gonna come through as Aiming. He is gonna be recalled after grabbing himself a kill. Lucid with an afterthought murder of the tree. And DK will be able to take down this outer turret. They are double the kills of their opposition right now. It's about a 5,000 gold lead. I mean, it's probably... Okay, Beryl is going to go in. Maybe it's Beryl. Found another angle there. As, all right, Lucid looking to come in. Does dive on top of UCal. The Empress Divide's so good. I think it's ShowMaker. I think it definitely is. I mean, the flash shove to deny the Penta in game 2.
ShowMaker. Because I think Lucid's Skarner game was iffy. Like, his early game was really good, but his team fights were not great.
Which being the 3.2 thousand to the 3-item Azir. Which is rough, to say the least, as Shiu gonna have to flash to get out of the way of UCal's ult. Meanwhile, there is a fight on the other side of the map, and oh my god, the knockups are everywhere. Aiming takes down Teddy. Now the damage is missing from the fight, as Sponge gonna get dove on by the Pantheon. And as long as they fight around ShowMaker, this is just kinda donezo, as at least DRX will be...
It was a beautiful dream for DRX, but even an Unbreakable Spirit can't stop them from looking at this game state and going, oh god.
Yeah.
What do we do? Look at the itemization. This is what I was talking about as well. And why I feel like if DRX had gotten ahead, I don't think this would
attack the teleport. That's what they were kind of doing. And unfortunately, it didn't work. This is it continuing to not work, by the way, as Rich is going to at least crash into them and then dash away as Nature's Grasp coming down. Let's see where the Beryl can find a couple of targets, and he does so. Then they pile in. Lucid also actually able to survive as the two-man shove comes through from ShowMaker. Yeah, write it down. I probably put it on in there. He grabs a triple. It's almost a quadra, but Beryl is able to stomp down the tree, and DK feels like game 1 was a
little bit of lost game bias. You know, I want to kind of, we've been talking about it.
Recency bias is real for a reason.
I want to introduce, you know, the lost game.
Need them. Kind of like this week in the day that didn't exist. As it's actually so true, and I was being somewhat facetious setting up for the next match, but the fact that KT are coming off a loss against Bro, that was Bro being able to find their moment, you know, where they get their angle. As ShowMaker having a really good time. You can see Lucid very happy about how his mid lane is playing. And they were yelling for the Pentas. Oh! ShowMaker obviously joking about it as well. Oh, so good.
And for DK, it was a little worrying after game number 1, the way that played out. But in game number 2 and 3, I think we did kind of see them come back. As UCal, yeah, I think his performance, particularly in the first 2 games, was great. This Yone left a lot to be desired. That's 9k damage on Yone. That's not...
Thank you very much, guys. This is Dear for the POM interview translation, joined by ShowMaker on the side of D plus Kia. You guys are back on track for win streaks, and you also reached the huge 600 all-time LCK games milestone. How do you feel? You know, I was able to reach 600 LCK games, and I'm really happy and glad that I'm able to secure it and celebrate it with the victory. And in game 1, the early to mid-game was going your way, but the game was overtaken later. So what kind of feedback was there? Now, after the game, I think we were just trying to figure out, you know, and we noticed that we were supposed to make a lot more plays and be proactive with the comp that we picked. So I think that's what really ended up causing the loss in the end. And in game 2, you were against a Fed Victor, but we were able to come back. So how was this possible? You know, all mid laners would agree with me when I say this. You know, Victor taking 3 kills in the early game. And you know, like Aurora was able to get 3 kills as well. And in the end, I think we just ended up thinking, hey, it's actually playable, even if it looks like it's kind of doomed. And we had some sappy moments in game 2. 2 quadras in one game, and we could feel Aiming's rage as a result of missing his penta. What was his actual reaction like? You know, in game 2, in the early game, I really misplayed. And, you know, we were all so focused on trying to win the game, and I actually didn't end up hearing Aiming. I really didn't hear him say penta, penta, but I feel like if he did better, he could have gotten the penta. So what would you like to say to Aiming? You know, aiming, you should try a little better to get that kill. Yeah, let's do better next time. And in game 3, you took the victory after that play in the bot lane. And this was your first time playing Azir today. And how come have you not played him when you're so good with him? No, Azir is a pretty complicated champion. And I think it really is very situational. And you have to be super meticulous with Azir, so I think this is just the one time that I was able to pick him, and you know, I feel like, yeah, it's like such a high-risk champion where if you make some mistakes, it actually impacts the game really negatively, so I think that's what it was. And not only did you reach 600 LCK games today, Aiming also got his 300 wins too, so can you congratulate him? Aiming, congratulations on 300 wins. Let's get your penta next time. And you'll play T1 and Hana Life Esports back-to-back next week. You'll have to win to secure the top of the standings. What are your resolutions? Just hearing those team names makes me so nervous, but I will have to make sure that we're able to win and that we're well prepared. And that's the end of the interview with ShowMaker, and back to the space. Thank you.